Welcome back to patreon.com/the Derrick Lamon Experience, your one-stop shop for your gaming news. Of course, my name is Derrick Lamon Jackson, and this is The Week in Gaming. Switching up the flow of the show just a little bit. Oops, sorry for that. If you guys heard anything, I kind of bumped the mic stand a little bit, but we're switching up the flow of the show just a little bit. I want to not spread things, but put things in a certain place. So I know we're going to do a new segment we call Quick Hits, where there are stories, but we're not going to spend much time on them. So starting off right now, we're going to go to videogameschronicle.com. Actually, our top three stories from Quick Hits do come from videogameschronicle.com, so shout out to them. Quantic Dream says it is unaffected by the NetEase layoffs and studio closures. Quote, "We are continuing to develop our projects at full pace," says the Detroit Become Human studio. It was recently claimed that NetEase plans to divest itself of the majority of its overseas teams, potentially leading to the closure of more than a dozen game studios. While the tech giant has stated that all studios and projects are in constant review and evaluation, it has also denied suggestions that recent cuts to some overseas teams are part of a wider change of strategy, insisting that it has not wavered in its global expansion plans. On Monday, the NetEase studio, headed by former Control lead designer Paul Erith, released a statement confirming, quote, "It has not been affected by any studio closures," adding that it remains full steam ahead building its debut game. A similar statement was released on Tuesday by Guillermo de Fondemir, the CEO of Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain studio Quantic Dream, which NetEase acquired in 2022. I forgot about that. Quote says, quote, "We were deeply saddened to learn about the recent layoffs and studio closures affecting some of the NetEase Group's divisions. Our thoughts are with everyone impacted, and we sincerely hope that they quickly find new opportunities. President David Cage and I would like to express our gratitude to the fans and friends who have reached out to us in recent days regarding Quantic Dream. We want to reassure everyone that our studios in Paris and Montreal remain unaffected. We are continuing to develop our projects at full pace, with several open positions available in both locations. Last year, the company achieved the highest revenue in its history, driven by the performance of its back catalog titles, according to Defon Demir. Its most recently developed game, 2018's Detroit Become Human, hit 11 million sales in 2024, up 2 million a year on year, he said. Quantic Dream became a publisher in 2019 and is also currently developing Star Wars Eclipse, which was announced in December of 2021. Can't wait to see what that's about. Quote, "The development of our current projects are progressing as planned, and we are fully committed to delivering and launching these innovative, high-quality titles in the future," Defon Demir said. Here's the thing. Phil Spencer, I can't remember which studio it was. Phil Spencer went out to view whatever game they were working on and took pictures with these people, like in the studio cafeteria. They posted them all on social media, and then like a day or two later, the studio got shut down. So you can be developing and working on your next project and everything could look cool, and they can give you the thumbs up like, yeah, and then the next day your studio does not exist. We've seen it happen before. I won't go any further into that, but just know that you're not safe until you're safe, and really you're never safe in gaming. Marvel Rivals is one of the biggest stories in gaming as of late, and they just got rid of that team as a result of these NetEase layoffs. So not got rid of the team, I'm sorry, the head of creative and some other people and stuff like that. So I don't know if you're ever really safe in game development. We've kind of reached that point where there's like a baseline, and at any given moment, anybody can be let go. So what I would tell people, if you're getting into game development, if you end up working at a studio, don't bring a lot of shit to sit on your desk. Pictures of your family and all types of stuff like that. At my desk at work, I'm not in game development. I have a mini Oklahoma Sooners football helmet, a plush Darth Vader, and a St. Louis Cardinals Joe Torre bobblehead, and like a wireless keyboard and wireless mouse, and a picture of my kid, actually. So I probably should start taking things home, but then people will be like, "You got fired." It's not the case, but you just never know. So travel easy and travel light. In other news, also, again, coming from Video Games Chronicle, just months after release, EA has put Dragon Age: The Veilguard on PlayStation Plus. Sony has confirmed March 2025's PlayStation Plus essential games, and of course, Dragon Age: The Veilguard is one of them. The games are Dragon Age: The Veilguard, Sonic Colors Ultimate, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection. You've been dying to play that, so I'm definitely adding that. Cannot wait. They will be available to subscribers to claim from March 4th until March 31st. Dragon Age: The Veilguard is a notable inclusion, given BioWare's game was only released in October of 2024. Although publisher EA has said it failed to meet sales expectations. People really love the game, but I'm not surprised. Games aren't selling because I'm not going to blame it on Game Pass. I think that the price of games going up $10, I know it's like, it's $10. To some people, that makes a difference. I'm just being completely honest with you. But games aren't selling. And also, economically, we're in a bit of a decline right now. Where like you look at the price of eggs and all this stuff, and a lot of people thought this is really going to be fixed by the Republican administration. But I digress. In January, BioWare confirmed that it was downsizing following Dragon Age: The Veilguard's release, with general manager Gary McKay stating that the next Mass Effect didn't require support from the full studio at this stage of its development. Some employees have been transferred to help on other EA projects, which are said to include Skate and Iron Man, and BioWare has reportedly halved in size compared to 2 years ago, now employing under 100 in staff. February's PlayStation Plus Essential Games are Payday 3 for PlayStation 5, High on Life for PS4 and PS5, Pac-Man World Repack PS4 and PS5, and those are available for subscribers to claim until March the 3rd. Sony recently announced plans to shift away from providing PS4 games as part of its PlayStation Plus offerings. Starting in January of 26, PS4 games will no longer be a key benefit of the service, with the platform holder instead turning its focus to offering PS5 titles. So it should be interesting going forward. Not that there's a lot, considering that Sony first-party studios, because of the live service initiative, well, we know there's been paltry offerings, so this should be very interesting. And lastly, for quick hits, the physical version of Monster Hunter Wilds requires a 15 gig update to play. Capcom has confirmed a day one update for Monster Hunter Wilds. Capcom has also confirmed that fans who pre-ordered the game digitally can download this update now ahead of the title's release later this week. Publisher said on X, aka Twitter, picking up a physical copy of Monster Hunter Wilds, heads up, an update to the latest version of approximately 15 gigs is required to play. If you pre-ordered the digital version, you can download the latest update now. Preloading for the game is now available on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC via Steam. Capcom has also released an image detailing global launch times for the game, which is viewable on their website. VGC's 5-star Monster Hunter Wilds review called the game a victory lap for Capcom's golden age and worthy successor to the company's best-selling title, 2018 Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter Wilds is confident, bold, and one of the best Monster Hunter games ever, thanks to the ability to stand on the giant shoulders of worlds and improve it in virtually every way. The first 3 major update for the game, which is planned for release in spring 2025, will introduce the Leviathan Mizistune. I don't know what that means. This isn't really news. Practically, it's like 80% of games get a day one patch now. So this isn't really news, but I included it just in case there are some people who are going to play this game, but nearly every game has a day one patch now. That's just the way it goes. I'm currently reading Blood, Sweat, and Pixels by Jason Schreier, and they talk about crunching and making the gold master release date. When a game goes gold is when you print the master copy of the disc. Now, there may still be bugs, but the game is in a playable state. They have to get it gold by a certain date to meet the actual ship date for physical copies and stuff like that you would go into a Target or a Walmart or a GameStop or whatever and pick those up or order from Amazon. You're still generally going to push a day one patch if there are some minor bugs that you can't work on. The problem is for people who don't have internet, and I don't know who that would be in the year of our Lord 2025, they won't be able to download that day one patch. So they're going to get not a super broken version of the game, unless we're talking about Cyberpunk 2077, because that game was a fucking disaster when it launched. But generally, most games have a day one patch now. So this isn't really news, but I did include it, obviously, for people who are going to be playing the game, so they are aware of the situation. So good luck to everybody playing that game. It's not for me. I'm not going to lie to you. Everybody's like, you should try it. I'm like, I'm not going to try it because I've seen enough footage and I've sat there and watched people play, and I just know it's not for me. I don't want to chase monsters around. I'm sorry. Like, that's why I play Final Fantasy and stuff like that. I know I have to beat these people to proceed on in the game and stuff like that, but not. I had a friend who put in 800 hours in Monster Hunter World, and I was just like, you need to go back to work. So I don't know. Anyway, moving right along to our top story today. This kind of shocked me, and I would have to imagine, I don't know, the game was probably in a pretty bad state, but also Warner Brothers, outside of Hogwarts Legacy, that Justice League game was bad. What is the other game where you play as like Robin and Nighthawk and all that stuff? I can't remember. I know the Justice League game didn't fare well. I can tell you that right now. I'm sorry, not Justice League, Suicide Squad. That other one I can't remember. Anyway, Warner Brothers is closing 3 game studios and canceling Wonder Woman. Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and WB San Diego are all being shut down. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War studio Monolith Productions is shutting down, with its in development Wonder Woman game being axed, according to Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier. Shout out to Schreier. Again, I'm currently reading Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. His sources have also claimed that Warner is closing Multiversus studio Player First Games and mobile-focused studio WB San Diego. There is an update on this story. Warner Brothers has confirmed the reported closures in a statement issued to Kotaku reporter Ethan Gouch. Quote, "We have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best games possible with our key franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones," it said. "After careful consideration, we are closing 3 of our development studios: Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and Warner Brothers Games San Diego. This is a strategic change in direction and not a reflection of these teams or the talent that consists with them. The development of Monolith's Wonder Woman video game will not move forward. Our hope was to give players and fans the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character, and unfortunately, this is no longer possible within our strategic priorities. This is another tough decision, as we recognize Monolith's storied history of delivering epic fan experiences through amazing games. We do greatly admire the passion of the 3 teams and thank every employee for their contributions. As difficult as today is, we remain focused on and excited about getting back to producing high-quality games for our passionate fans and developed by our world-class studios, and getting our game business back to profitability and growth in 2025 and beyond." Now, in late January, Warner announced that Season 5 of Multiverse would be its last, with the game shutting down on May 30th. Bloomberg reported earlier this month that Monolith's Wonder Woman game, which was announced in 2021, was years away from release after being rebooted in 2024. Warner Brothers Interactive president David Haddad is to leave his position after 12 years at the division, the company confirmed in January. The announcement followed a challenging year for Warner Games division, which included the commercial failure of Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League and the disappointing relaunch of Multiverses. This led to Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav highlighting the games division as a weak link for the company and its earning results last November, when he said it was substantially underperforming its potential. Warner is planning a follow-up to 2023 blockbuster Hogwarts Legacy as a priority. The Harry Potter spinoff was that year's best-selling game, ahead of The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, and it has since surpassed 30 million in sales. So congrats to the team who worked on Hogwarts Legacy. For the teams at Monolith, Player First Games, and WB San Diego, my hearts go out to you guys. It's a very, very tough situation. It's never easy to lose a job. Let me be very fucking clear about that. This situation sucks. It just rebooted the game last year, I don't remember exactly when the reboot took place, but here we are in February. Actually, by the time you guys hear this, it'll actually be March. So happy March. Here we are in March of 2025, and they already know, hey, this isn't going to work out. So let's just go ahead and pull the plug on this. And while we're at it, let's close down these 3 studios. Now, there's another piece of this puzzle that I want to talk about. Warner still owns the Nemesis engine, which is the engine that Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor was created in. And I believe that's the same engine that they were building the Wonder Woman game in. They own that game engine until 2026. So at least for another year, they can license it out to other developers and do whatever they want with it for at least the next year. But this is just crazy. This is crazy. I remember the Wonder Woman teaser trailer, and it's like, and even the hype behind the game we were hearing, it's like, hey, there's a Wonder Woman game coming soon. It's been done by Monolith. This is going to be a big deal. Everybody wanted a superhero game. Everybody. And it's crazy because Avengers failed. Avengers by Crystal Dynamics failed. Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League has failed. Wonder Woman's been canceled. What else? Everybody, the Black Panther game got greenlit. It's like Black Panther and Captain America and some other stuff. It kind of feels like the gaming universe, as far as comic books, is going the same way as the film universe as far as comic books. The MCU just hasn't had the same rate of success it had after the Infinity Saga. Once Tony Stark snapped his fingers and that was it, the MCU has been basically a dud. Outside of the Spider-Man films, I enjoyed Black Widow. I enjoyed Shang-Chi. What else? I enjoyed a couple of the films, but they're not hitting in the box office like they did during the Infinity Saga. And give credit to the people who wrote and directed those films, because they were able to tie them all together into a cinematic universe. And I just don't know if we'll see that again now. They have an opportunity. Robert Downey Jr. coming back, the Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family. We know that the X-Men films are coming as well. They could build this thing into something really, really cool. But there's also a certain thing is oversaturation, right? All the Disney Plus shows. I think that people kind of got burnt out. it's like once I know it's there at all times, it doesn't become the commodity that it was. Like, if a movie comes out Friday, really people are there Thursday night, like, hey, New Avengers is out, let's get our tickets. Like, they were selling out the minute they became available, and you're like, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to see Avengers on the first night. It's not like it won't be there for the rest of the weekend or whatever. Films are staying in theaters much shorter these days. They're getting like 15 to 20, day runs and stuff like that. So that fatigue, I'm not saying it's the same fatigue that we're experiencing in gaming. High level AAA gaming costs a lot of money, lot of fucking money, and everybody's chasing the next big thing. And not even with live service games, everybody's trying to make like huge single player games. You're only going to get so many Last of Us. You're only going to get so many God of War 2018s. You're only going to get Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a great fucking game. You're only going to get so many games like that. Every game can't be like that. We've lost sight of second party gaming, and we still have third party gaming, of course. And then first party gaming is taking a hit because Sony doesn't have much plan going. We don't know what's going to happen going forward for the PlayStation 5. This might be the lightest generation of any PlayStation console since the first PlayStation. And that was a bunch of third party stuff because Sony hadn't built up their studios at this point. The PlayStation 3, keep in mind, we got the first 3 Uncharted games on the PlayStation 3 and The Last of Us. Think about that. PlayStation 3 came out November of 2006. We got Uncharted Drake's Fortune. We got, I can't remember the title of the second game, but we got Uncharted 2. Is it Among Thieves? I don't know. We got Uncharted 3, and then we got The Last of Us. Like, that's 4 games from Naughty Dog in one generation. We got a couple of Ratchet and Clank games. Insomniac was making Resistance Fall of Man, regardless of how you feel about that. It's just not the same. The PlayStation 4 was a phenomenal generation for PlayStation. A lot of bangers came out. The first couple of years were pretty paltry. It'll be 5 years for the PlayStation 5, November of this year. And Sony first party studios have delivered almost next to nothing except for remakes and remasters. So I don't know. But again, prayers out to everybody at those 3 studios. It sucks. Update your resumes, go on LinkedIn. You're going to hear from friends at other studios who are going to say, hey, we need somebody that can do this. Hey, we need somebody who can do that. Hopefully you don't have to uproot your lives and move yourself or your family halfway across the country or anything, but prayers going out to all of them. In other news, speaking of PlayStation 5 Pro sales have fallen behind the PlayStation 4 Pro in the United States. $700 console upgrade reportedly enjoyed a strong start at launch. That's according to data from the market research firm Circana, shared by analyst Matt Piscatella. However, it's worth noting that PlayStation 5 Pro retails for significantly more than the PlayStation 4 Pro did. That's $700 versus $400, and Circana's reporting period is also 1 week less. In November, Piscatella claimed that the PlayStation 5 Pro had enjoyed a solid start with unit sales in the same ballpark as the PlayStation 4 Pro's launch. I had both on day one at launch, just saying. The PlayStation 5 Pro was released on November 7th for $700 US. Over 50 games subsequently received updates with graphical upgrades and other performance improvements. Sony has not released official PS5 Pro sales figures. However, its latest earnings results included Pro sales for the first time and showed that launch aligned PlayStation 5 is just now 1.5 million units behind the PlayStation 4 during the same period of its life cycle, 75 million versus 76.5 million. Apples to oranges. The difference is, again, I want to add, 5 years in, the PlayStation 4 was on fucking fire because the first party studios were cranking out hit after hit after hit. They're not doing that this generation. So if you don't already have a PlayStation 5, somebody's got to convince you why you should buy one. It's the same conversation that went on with Xbox for years. If you don't already have one, well, what's the need to get one? And at this point, because Microsoft is sending all their first party games that should have been exclusive to their ecosystem to the PlayStation 5. So it's like, well, why would I buy an Xbox? At some point, I know that Sony's going to market correct themselves and we're going to get those games from their first party studios. I don't know if that's going to happen over at Microsoft. And at any rate, they're going to send all their games multi-platform going to the PlayStation 5. So why would I buy both when I could just buy the PS5 and get the greatest games from PlayStation and get whatever Microsoft has to offer as well? So for Sony, it's like, okay, you're 1.5 million consoles behind at the same point that the PlayStation 4 Pro was at this time. you're still sitting pretty goddamn good considering, again, your first party slate has been pretty paltry for this particular generation. So I know a lot of people like, this is stupid, Sony's doing bad, but it's like hats off to Sony because you're still selling a lot of consoles with not a lot of first party offering. And I'm sorry, that's a hell of a trick if you ask me. In other news about Team Blue, Spider-Man 3 PS5 star confirms what we all suspected about the new game's story. A Spider-Man PlayStation 5 star tease what comes next for his character in the third game. Spider-Man 3 will be holding on onto one key character amid fears he will step back following last game's ending. Insomniac Games has already released 3 Spider-Man games, including 2 mainline chapters in the Miles Morales spinoff. As their success continues, the franchise is expected to return with Spider-Man 3 on PlayStation 5, possibly PlayStation 6. Because it depends on where Wolverine is right now, and we don't know until Sony tells us something. They showed us the teaser for that game in September of 2021, and we've seen nothing official since then. The only thing that we've seen is the stuff from the leaks after the hack of Insomniac. So I don't know if that game is coming this generation. If it came on the PlayStation 6, I would not be surprised. I think that it'll be cross-gen. If nothing, it'll still come on the PlayStation 6, or they'll give us a remastered version. If it only comes to the PlayStation 5, there will be a remastered version for the PlayStation 6. You better know that. Insomniac Games' Peter Parker actor Yuri Lowenthal spoke exclusively with the Direct on February 22nd at Multicon, a benefit held for the Los Angeles wildfire recovery, and the topic of Spider-Man 3, of course, came up. Spider-Man 2 ended with Peter Parker settling down his web-slinging mantle for now and leaving Miles Morales to take care of New York. Peter will seemingly be putting his personal life first for some time while continuing the Emily May Foundation from his garage and remaining a mentor to Miles. During the interview, the Direct's Russ Milham asked Lowenthal what Spider-Man 2's ending means for Peter's future in the next game. The actor confirmed as exactly that Peter won't be relegated to the couch and will instead have a key role in Spider-Man 3's plot. Quote, there are very few things that I can say about this game, but you have somehow landed on one thing that I can answer, and that's that, yes, Peter is not gone. He will be part of the next game, and he won't be relegated to the couch. I promise. The news will come as no surprise to most Spider-Man gamers, as Peter's step back from the heroism was always implied to be temporary, while Spider-Man 3 will likely open with Miles Morales as New York's only wall crawler. Perhaps some new mystery or terrifying villain will pull him back into action. Well, dollars to donuts, we know that we're going to get Norman Osborn take up the mantle of the Green Goblin after him visiting Doc Ock in prison at the end for the post-game credits. This is not a spoiler because that game came out in 2023, is now 2025. At the end of Spider-Man 2, Norman Osborn orders someone to get the G-Serum ready ASAP. Of course, that would be the Goblin Syrup. While his son Harry lies in dire condition, as this may be setting up Green Goblin to be among the villains of Spider-Man 3. It absolutely should and absolutely will. Peter's ties to Osborn's family should be enough to thrust him back into action and stop Norman's plans. Spider-Man 2's post-credit scene introduced Cindy Moon to the Insomniac Games universe as the daughter of Rio Morales' boyfriend Albert. Fans of Marvel Comics will be well aware that Cindy will one day become Silk, another Spidey superhero who was bitten by the same radioactive arachnid that gave Peter his powers. Many have speculated Cindy will become Silk and be playable in Spider-Man 3, standing alongside Peter and Miles. Dialing the heroics up to 3 heroes would open the doors to more gameplay variety, especially as Silk will presumably both turn on set of abilities, upgrades, and side characters. Of course, Spider-Man 3 is yet to have received an official release date, but Direct has some predictions on when it could hit shelves. You can save your predictions. Again, we don't know what's going on with Wolverine. I'd have to imagine Wolverine is ahead of Spider-Man 3 in the production schedule. Excuse me, I don't know if we'll get another Ratchet & Clank game before then, but unless Wolverine is in absolute dire straits, I expect it to release before Spider-Man 3. But like you guys, we are all patiently waiting on Spider-Man 3. Since we didn't get any Spider-Man 2 DLC, I'm hoping that Carnage will show up in Spider-Man 3 with some other villains. I think it's going to be really, really cool. I would love to see the Hobgoblin at some point. I don't know if we see that, but they're calling it the final chapter of the trilogy. That's what Doc Ock said when Norman went to visit him in prison. So when you get to this point, I would say all bets are off. Anybody can die. Any hero can die. So May died in the first game. Who died in it? I'm sorry. Miles' dad died in the first game. I'm trying to think of who else died in the series thus far. I don't know, but I'm really, really excited and can't wait to see the game. So kudos to Insomniac. They have held down the PlayStation 5 They deserve a break, but also I do want to see what's going on with Wolverine. But again, kudos to everybody over in Insomniac. In other news, Xbox has officially delayed Fable to 2026. Quote, it's definitely worth the wait. The release of the Playground new Fable game has been pushed from this year to 2026. Xbox Game Studios head Craig Duncan announced news on the latest official official Xbox podcast. Quote, so I just want to start with really excited about the progress, really excited about where Playground are, he said. We previously announced the date for Fable as 2025. We are actually going to give Fable more time, and it's going to ship in 2026 now. While I know that's not maybe the news people want to hear, what I want to assure people of is that it's definitely worth the wait. Accompanying the news of the delay, Microsoft shared some new Fable pre-alpha gameplay, which is viewable via the following timestamp YouTube video. It's on the, I would imagine it's on the Xbox YouTube channel, but this is from videogames.chronicle.com. He goes on to say, quote, I have unequivocal confidence in the Playground team. Duncan continued, if you think about their history and legacy for Forza Horizon, the last two games critically acclaimed, 92 Metacritic, award-winning, beautiful, played great, and just what they are bringing to Fable as a franchise. I still have to see it because you're taking an engine that was built for a racing game and using it for an RPG. I don't know how this is going to work, but whatever. Quote, just think of the visuals and what you expect of Playground games, plus amazing gameplay, British humor, Playground's version of Albion, so inspired by what's gone before with the franchise. But their take in, quite frankly, the most beautifully realized version of Albion you've ever seen. So really excited about the plans and really excited about the future. And I want the community to understand that we do these things for the best of the games and the teams, and ultimately the results in the best games for the best games or best game for the community. After years of speculation, Xbox announced in June 2024 that Fable will be released this year and it will be available on Game Pass on Xbox and PC on day one. Playground Games also confirmed that it's been collaborating with Eidos Montreal on the game. The last Eidos Montreal game was released in 2021's Guardian of the Galaxy, which was met with a generally positive critical response, but didn't meet Square Enix's sales expectations. That's a good game. I don't care what they say. I know that they're in the business of making games to sell games and make money. But Guardians of the Galaxy is a really, really good game. And if you're a fan, I urge everybody to check it out. But again, it is a very, very good game. And then lastly, also coming from videogameschronicle.com, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 has been rated in Singapore. This much teased skateboarding game has been rated, which you know what that means. Generally, we're going to get a release date soon. I'm not a fan of Skate or Tony Hawk, so this is for the people that are. The game, which Tony Hawk and Activision have been teasing all week ahead of a reveal in March, has been rated for Nintendo Switch, PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S consoles. The ratings board also lists the game as a 2025 title, suggesting a release date could be announced during the game's full reveal in March. Earlier this week, Tony Hawk posting images of himself and several classic skaters in front of a teaser graphic that reads 3/4/25 with loading new parks underneath it. All but confirming that a new title will be announced soon. This is the same iconography found on the Tony Hawk website, which may also point to the developer behind the new remake. Iron Galaxy, the studio behind the PC version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, is named on the teaser site. Studio recently worked on Killer Instinct and Rumble V's, in addition to co-developing the remaster Crash and Spyro trilogies. A new Tony Hawk game has been teased numerous times in recent months, the most coming earlier this week when a pro skater, Tyshawn Jones, stated on a podcast that he was going to feature in the upcoming remaster. A more explicit tease appeared on Thursday when Call of Duty's latest update added a map featuring a skate park, including distinctive Tony Hawk logos in the March 4th date. There's nothing sacred anymore. The last Tony Hawk Pro Skater game was 2020's remake of the original two entries. Tony Hawk claimed in 2022 that a second collection of remakes following Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 was planned until developer Vicarious Visions was absorbed into Activision. Quote, that was the plan, even up to the release date of 1 and 2. Hawk said we were doing 3 and 4, and then Vicarious kind of got absorbed, and they were looking for other developers, and then it was over. So, but, you know, by the time you guys hear this next week, you're about 1 day away from this announcement. It looks like it's going to go down March 4th, and I've seen a lot of stuff where they highlighted 3, 4. So I tend to believe this is true, and this is actually happening. So kudos to all you guys who are fans of this. This is awesome for you. Like, I'm really happy. Just as happy as you guys were for me when Final Fantasy VII Remake released. That was a big moment for me, especially because of the pandemic and we were stuck in the house. And it's like, That came out Easter weekend, and that's what I spent my time doing Easter weekend because I didn't have anything to do because we were all in the house. But I digress. Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. Kind of a short show, but you know how it goes. I'm going to end this like I end everything else. Of course, believe in yourself first and foremost, because if you don't believe in yourself, of course, nobody else will believe in you. Sorry. As always, my name is Derrick Lamon Jackson, and that is my time. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.